You know what I realized? I realized that women need men to be a helpmate too. I remember I told you I went to church like the majority of my life, right? As a kid and stuff. And we were always taught that the woman is to help the guy. You're supposed to be a helper. You're supposed to be, all these things, right? But even as an adult in church, they never really taught that the man has to be a helpmate too. It's like, it's not just serve, get served and not serve. Does that make sense? It's like you serve. That's what you do in relationships. You serve, he serves, she serves, you serve. It's not just one-sided. It's a group effort. It's a group effort. And I was sitting here and I was just like, yeah, because I know for me, I need supervision. I need the right supervision because I will go, or I need a pinky to my brain. I will go off the rails sometimes. And I need my person to be there to be like, hey, come here. Come here, come here, come here, come here, let me give you a hug. Because they know that I need a hug before they know I need a hug before I even know I need a hug. Does that make sense? That's a help me. And I never understood the word. Is it meet or met? I say mate because it's like you're two of them. So that's what you're gonna hear me say. So I was just like, you know, the person encourages you. Sometimes they not, and they have to know when they're supposed to and when they're not. And I know for me, I'm learning when to step in and when not to step in. I'm learning that not every battle that they're going to go through, they need me to get my sword and my gun. I need to allow him to do what he needs to do. If he needs some time, give him some time. If he needs, but you guys got to communicate. That's where the meat part comes in, or the mate part comes in. You got to communicate that. I'm dealing with something right now and it's a lot, and I need to handle this. I don't want to drag you into it. I don't need you right now. If I need you, I will call you when it comes to this stuff. And if you tell a woman that, she'd be like, okay, just let me know, because tag me in. But if you just go ghost and disappear, her brain starts going to the left. You understand? It just goes far left. And that's what a lot of the weird spirals happen, because nobody's communicating. And then instead of her going, hey, I feel like you're pulling away, or I feel like something's wrong, is something wrong? Like, are you okay? That's communicating with him. Not going to him, oh, you seeing someone else? Like, what you doing? Because you're spiraling. You're not talking. You're not communicating with that person. You're just talking. And the talking isn't coming from like your higher being. It's coming from your fear and your trauma, and that's what's being spewed at that person. And then and this goes for both men and women. They're looking at you like, what the hell is this? Relax. I got my own shit going on right now. This is not about you. You understand? And then a conflict happens because instead of talking to them and communicating to them how you're feeling, you're accusing. You're making statements. Most of the time, I'm not perfect, but most of the time when I'm talking to people, they will tell you I'm always asking questions. I'm always asking questions. I do not fight anymore. I do not, don't fuck around and find out, but I do not fight anymore. I ask questions. What am I fighting with you about? I want to understand what you're talking about. I don't want to be right. I don't need to be right. Does that make sense? When you need to be right, it's a fight because and it's you against them. No, you guys are together as a group. You're together. You are cultivating something important. That's not why are you fighting? There should be no fighting. There should only be discussions. Discussions. And in discussions, you ask questions. If she's like, I feel, it should be I feel, not you're doing. Does that make sense? Because it's like when you say I feel, it brings it to you. They know that this might not be right because it's how I feel. It may not be right for you, but this is how I feel. Does that make sense? That's how you talk. Don't go outward because when you go outward, the person's going to automatically get on the defensive. You know how I know this? Because I had a study of communication because there was shit going on. You understand? So it's like I learned that the first thing is you have to make sure that person understands that this is not really about you. This is how I'm feeling. You understand? This might not be your intention. You may not even know you're doing it. You might flat out be like, nah, you're lying. That's not what's happening. All those things you could say is true. But for me, that's irrelevant. I'm just telling you how I'm feeling. You don't have to agree with me because you're not me and you're not going to understand how I'm feeling because you're not me. Does that make sense to you? I used to hate when people used to say to me, oh, I wouldn't get upset about something like that. Guess what? I do. Like, I do. I don't find that funny. I don't find that funny. I don't find that cute. And it was like, oh my God, you're so sensitive. No, it's not that I'm sensitive. It's that I don't find this funny. It has not, sensitivity has nothing to do with it. You're not funny. I'm funny. So I know funny. You understand? But I digress. Ooh, I gotta clear that. I don't know what that was, but I gotta clear it. We're gonna clear it later. But yeah. So lost my whole train of thought. I lost my whole train of thought. That brought back some memories. No, it used to annoy the crap out of me. People, and I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. People would, like now, honestly, the reason why people are as sensitive as they are now is because of their parents' trauma. You understand? And they probably were like, their parents probably told them what people would say to them. Yo, I had a teacher flat out tell me I was stupid. Like in front of the class. And I was just, and then they wondered why I didn't participate. It's like, it was crazy. Like the stuff that they got away with was insane. It was insane. They definitely called it self-esteem for a reason. They did not help you with that at all. Now I think we swung the pendulum a little too far, but that we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about other things. But getting back to my original thing, yeah, I believe a woman needs a helpmate as much as a man does, and in the same caliber. And it helps move the needle. It helps move whatever her plan is in her head. Her plan, and I know for me, I can only speak for me. My plan in my head isn't to just sit around and do nothing. Even if the person I'm with is like has everything, has all this other stuff, I'm like, that's nice. That's nice. And it's like, that's great. And I will help you maintain it and we'll build something together and all that stuff. But Kayla, New York is going to be built. Kayla, New York is built and going to continue to be built. You understand? Because I have my own empire. I don't need your empire. When a person doesn't need someone else's stuff, you can actually start having fun because you have your stuff, I have my stuff, and then we build something together. But if all we have is your stuff, or all you have is my stuff, because I've been there where all we had was my stuff. So then you started touching my stuff. And I'm like, no, this isn't a collaboration. This could be a collaboration, but this, don't touch it. You know what I'm saying? This has nothing to do with you. And the person didn't understand that. And they got offended. And I'm like, I don't care if you're offended or not. That you don't touch. You understand? We could build here, but this you don't touch. And that's my person. They have their own shit. I have my own shit. And plus another thing is, when you have somebody who has their own shit, they're not always with you in your shit. You understand that they're not sitting around going, well, what are you gonna do today? Work? What are you gonna do today? Make a video? Like, what are you gonna do today? Go to, go practice speaking somewhere, and then it's like that person has to match you. And if they don't, it's gonna be rocky. It's gonna be very rocky. But I jumped on here to tell you guys that women need helpmates too. They do, especially the ones like me that have a vision, that is on a mission, and that is changing the world. I need a pinky to my brain. All right, I love you guys. Stay up, stay blessed, deuces, and we out.